Hi.
Good afternoon, evening, morning.
Whatever time of day you're listening to this, and
time of year.
We need to be a bit more frequent, but we've just been busy, I guess.
Well, if you've got nothing to say, then there's, I said, been waiting for the update on the bees and things, and we haven't really been in there. We went last Monday to have a look through again because we had plus 10 or 12 degrees, whatever it was, and it was a nice sunny day. So we put some...
Even Mr. Binkers came and joined us.
Yeah, the snow kind of ebbed away a little bit, and put some fondant in there I'd made up in the morning, and then put some of the medication strips in there. We'd lost another hive, so we're down from 18 to 16 now. They were alive 2 weeks prior when I put some protein paddies into them. Again, some of the numbers in the hives look a little low, and some of the bees are all at the top of the hive, and then some of the bees, the other hives, are at the bottom. So it's difficult to actually tell how many you've got, and we're not pulling frames or anything this time of year because, again, it's too cold and you want to keep everybody nice and warm, and if there is any brood in there, that needs to be kept at a certain temperature. So the faster the lids are back on, the better, and then they can maintain that temperature without expending too much energy, too much heat of their own. So
cold and like snow, and then like moving frames. I mean, it's all a bit of a trauma to them. So the less that we like traumatize them with moving them and exposing them to like too cold of temperatures, I guess.
Yeah, less faffing. Just leave them to do what. Leave them be, as somebody. So they'll be fine, and just a case of waiting now for the weather to do whatever the weather's going to do. And again, we're mid-March at the minute, so we had geese come about 2 weeks ago, and when it was nice and warm, and now the poor buggers...
That was a goose impression by me, by the way.
Oh, I thought you trapped. They came, and it's minus 10 and north winds with a 15 below wind chill today, so you never know what you're going to get. Always a mixed bag in March and April, and again, there's a beekeeper saying that any idiot can keep bees till February. It's the next 2 months. So again, we're in that time
limbo
now where it's, again, it could all go horribly wrong, or it can all go right, or
it's not going to go right.
We've done what we can do, and as much as we can do, so it's we'll see.
It was exciting to be back with the looking inside the hives, but I do have to admit that after my allergic reaction last year by that black hornet, like I have to admit that I was a little bit nervous. I know it wasn't one of our bees or the wasps that stung me, but it was exciting to open the lid, but I was a little bit nervous. But
I only got stung once, so that was okay.
Well, you don't wear gloves, so
I don't want to squish them between the gloves because you can't feel them, so it's just a bit more. And again, it's time of year. I tend to the time I wear gloves is in the spring feeding and the fall feeding, because then the bees tend to be more antsy anyway, and they're looking for keeping food and keeping other bees out and protecting what they've got. So anything that moves, they tend to be all over it. So even I've been stung just walking 10 feet away from the hive sometimes. So I mean, you've just got it. But in the middle of the nectar flow in July, you could stand there with a Speedo on and nobody'd care. They'd just fly. But they're
the
all
neighbours might.
Well, they might do. Yeah, they're all busy. So it's it's again just the
so
time of year.
So you're going to stand there in your Speedos, are you, this year?
If you want me to, dear. Well, a few more dead bees.
It was like too traumatising for them.
Oh well.
More trauma to the bees.
Mm-hmm. What, not less?
Yeah, we want less trauma, not more trauma. So yeah, it's just a case of a little bit more waiting and go back in there. What, in another week, maybe?
A couple. We'll see what the weather does, and if we get some nice days again.
Well, it's been a week already.
Some plus, it has, so probably another week. Yeah, wait for some plus temperatures again, and just have a look, see what's going on, because we put food in there for them. Whether they need the food, who knows? We'll find out when we take the lids off and have a look, see if the food's been chomped away or whether it's still there and they've still got enough in their frames. If they have, then leave them. If they haven't, give them some more. So again, it's this limbo time of year, like Karen said, that you've just got to keep an eye on what's going off, not be too over attentive, but not abandon them either. So they should be able to keep enough food stores from the fall all the way through until the food starts to come back again, or till it gets warm enough and we can start throwing syrup on them. But at the minute, we're all wrapped up, and we'll just
I haven't looked to see if any of the pussy willows coming out yet. I don't
Not
know
yet.
whether
No,
it's too early
It
still.
will be another
few weeks, I don't know.
Depends, like you say. It's been an odd
Mild.
winter with El Nino floating by and giving us a bit of something to think about there. So it's I don't know.
And we'll see how they adapt to their new location and how that works for us as well, because
they should be fine. Again, it's east facing now, whereas before we were always south facing with them. So it kind of takes the wind off them a little bit. We get not rarely, but there's less east wind than north, south or west. So the orientation shouldn't really affect them that much, as long as they don't face them north.
Well, yeah.
But again, we've put them up against a bush line that's to the west of them. So in the sun, in the summer when it's hot, like after kind of 3-4 o'clock, they'll be in a bit of shade. So it means the hives won't get overly warm in the summertime, which isn't a problem. And again, if we get like west winds and everything, they are protected from that too. So, and if it's a north wind, it just hits the side of a couple of the boxes, and the rest of them, they're all in a line. So it should protect, and we'll see how it goes. I can always move them and flip them to the other side. It's not, but then again, that's something you got to be aware of, that they will go back to the place where they originally were from. So literally just before I wrap them up and they start to hunker down is when I moved them, because if I moved them in the middle of summer, all the worker bees that are out flying, the foragers, they'd all go back to where the hive was, not where the hive is, unless you move the box 2 miles away from where it was, and then they'll completely reorientate themselves. You can lay branches in front of the box with leaves on them and stuff, just laid across the front of the box, so they get disorientated coming out of the box, so it kind of have to reorientate themselves because the box looks different. But again, through the summer, you'll often get orientation flights as a load of workers become foragers, and they'll go outside and it almost looks like a swarm, but they're kind of in front of the hive, and they're going in and out and flying away a little bit and coming back a bit and in a bit and out a bit. And then after about 20 minutes or so, half an hour, it just all settles down again. Everybody knows where they're at, and that's the start of the new foraging section, because as the old foragers get old and die off, the new ones come through and take over the job. So,
and not that we want any swarms or anything, but where they were before, they kind of backed onto quite a few spruce trees. So whenever we had any swarms, typically they go and attach themselves to the really impossible to get them out of spruce tree like needles, and it was always like a challenge. Like you could never get to them like easily. So they're actually, the bush that they're on at the back, there's
more branches on it.
Yeah, so more branches. There's no spruce trees.
So it's a little more thinly spread out. So hopefully it might be a bit more.
Well, just in
easier.
Case we do get any.
Oh, we'll get some swarms. They'll be there.
They might be landing in easier to get back.
As much as I try to mitigate the swarms, they always catch me out.
I don't know. We were caught out a few times last year, and it was just
it can spin round in 5 days. And I mean, if you're only going in once a week, or you miss a couple of days because of some rain, and it's 10 days, the whole hive can turn upside down in that period of time and be gone on you, and you don't even realize what's hit you. So I mean, it's inevitable. And we went to visit a market yesterday rather than work at one, because it's a market we've been people ask us about often if we go, because it's one of the bigger ones in the area on a Saturday. And we just went for a look, and a guy in there was, his daughter keeps bees, and he was saying, what are you going to do with your losses this year? Are you going to buy queens or split? And I just said both. I said, well, we'll do a mixture of and see what happens, and see how many we end up with, and what the year starts to look like, and how things start to progress. I mean, the first progression with the spring really is if you've got a hive that's got like 5 or so frames of brood, and the queen's doing really well, and you've got one next door that's only got maybe 1.5 or 2 frames because she's just a bit slow catching up. You take one out of the one that's doing really well and put it into the one that's not doing so well. So we try and even out things as much as we can initially in the spring, so it gives everybody a good head start. Yes, it holds the one that's really doing well back, but it spurts the other one forward, so it does balance out in the end. So again, that's kind of our next thing we need to do once we start getting the syrup on and the weather warms up and she starts laying and the pollen comes out and spring gets here. And
we've got a few name tags to make.
Yeah,
so.
and I did start planting peppers on Friday night in the house, so we've got some jalapenos and some bell peppers and my
paprika peppers.
Talking to my mom this morning and she says, how many have you planted? I said, I don't know. She says, what, two or three per pot? And I says, between 15 and 20 per pot. Even though it's only a 4-inch pot, I'll put a ton of seeds in there, and what comes up comes up, and
then thin them out.
And put them into other containers, and then spread them around once I know what I've got. Because I've said to her, I've done it before and put like 3 pepper seeds in a pot, and then a month later I've got one come up and the other 2 didn't, and now I'm trying to catch up planting because what I've not got. So it's easier to plant way more than I need and then throw away what I don't want. So it just seems to work out better. And we kept a load of seed from last year, so I planted a ton of those. So we dried them properly and everything. So we'd done it the year before, so shouldn't be an issue. So hopefully they'll start to sprout in the next couple of weeks.
I'm sulking because I had to go and buy a bag of potatoes from the grocery store on Friday. Because we didn't get quite as many potatoes as last year, or we don't think, excuse me, don't think we did, because we've just eaten lots of potatoes. I don't know.
I think we had a few £100, but there seemed to be a couple of wheelbarrows full, but and we had, like I say, the normal container was full. But sometimes I have an overspill container. I don't know, but whatever, we've eaten them, so that's all well and good, and we had to buy some this year. We don't normally end up having to buy any until June time, so we're a little bit early. So
but it is what it is. So
we'll have to put up with crap potatoes for the next couple of months.
Yeah, I know. So
I won't be planting any of those till May. July is normally when July first, early August.
Maybe get some small new potatoes.
Yeah,
but
sacrifice a couple.
Yeah. But so we wanted to do a few updates with regard to what we've been doing, like the boring business side of thing, I guess. That we've the not boring stuff is that we've done a couple of markets already, haven't we? We've done 2-day one at the racecourse here, which was a charity event, and I did one locally in a little town called Dugald, which was good. It's a women business owners one. We did one called CD Saturday last weekend, didn't we, at the library? But that was a bit of a logistical nightmare, because you actually parked underneath the library in the parkade, then you went up the elevator 2 floors to get to the second floor, then you had to wheel all your stuff across to another elevator at the other side of the library and then go up to the 3rd floor. And the amount of stuff that we take to markets, it was like, oh my goodness.
We take a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we take a lot of stuff. And we're actually in Portage la Prairie next weekend, which is a women business owners in agriculture.
I can't go.
Yes, you can. You're my assistant and helper. So the business has to be at least 50% owned by a female.
Well, ours is 100, so that's good.
Yeah, it is at the minute. I'm going to give you a few
49.
Shares. So
I know who the boss is.
We've been applying for some more diverse markets, different ones, more in line with our business model. So we use biodynamic, regenerative and permaculture farming methods on our property. And so we kind of want to share more of that side of the business and do events that actually understand it. So last week at the library, we were giving away our Tithonia Mexican sunflower seeds, and a lady came up and she goes, "Oh, are you the ones with the seeds that they're all talking about downstairs?" I went, "I don't know." So, well, apparently us giving seeds away was quite a bit of a talking point, eh?
Yeah. And we've also got some other bit of exciting news.
Have we?
Yes.
What?
We've been mulling it over
Oh, yeah.
for the long. Really, you forgot?
No,
We've
it's
been
on my
mulling-
list of things. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
going through. You've just obviously.
Well, okay, we've got something
no.
exciting coming up, and Karen will mention it in a while.
No. You
No, I didn't
mention
want,
it.
I didn't want to steal your thunder.
No, you mention it, but I'll go back to like my bit. So you've brought it up. People are going to go like, well, you can't leave us hanging on now.
There's nobody listening. So
It's a million.
We've been mulling it over for the longest time, and we've decided, well, we wanted to do our own kind of event, but we didn't just want to do another farmers market. So we've decided that we're going to attempt to put on a homesteading event. So we're basically calling it the Manitoba Homesteading Show and Farmers Market. So the idea is we've rented a hall, and we're going to have up to 15 vendors in the hall who are all linked,
Presenters. Or...
linked to homesteading in some way, whether it's preserving, whether it's like us with the bees, whether it's through gardening, through making things,
canning jams and jellies.
And then we're going to see the people doing it then to do a small 15-20 minute presentation to whoever shows up, but to help people again. Because a lot of times it's not geared at the urban or the rural, it's basically geared at both, and we want to kind of promote. Again, it's not that difficult, and people sometimes, I can't do it, I don't know what to do, and all the rest of it. And one of the things you have to get across with this off the bat is we all make mistakes with this stuff, and every season's different, and every time it's different. Some things remain the same, but not a lot of them. So again, it's a crapshoot every year what you're going to end up with, and farming is what farming is, whether it's a pot in your backyard or 300 acres. It still takes looking after, and still got to grow it and do the right things. So,
and it's an educational event that just happens to have some vendor tables, because what we wanted was we don't want any crossovers with vendors, so that everybody's got the unique opportunity to share a little bit about what they do, and they can have the audience listening to them and then go and ask questions afterwards. Because a lot of the times when you're at markets, like, you've got a sore throat at the end of it because you've like said the same thing a gazillion times. But at least this way, at the end of each presentation, the presenter and vendor can direct people to their tables, and they've just shared everything in one hit, and then people can go and ask additional information. But the one thing that we wanted to get across as well is making the topics like simple. So although there's a lot of other handcrafted like vendors and homesteaders out there, we didn't want to target things like that involve like a sewing machine. We wanted to target people that didn't have to spend a lot of money trying to make stuff. So like the jams, the jellies, just growing herbs. You could grow herbs, like you said, like 300 acres of it or 3 feet of it in a pot. So we wanted to kind of go small with it right now and simple, and then we might be doing something in the fall where it's a bit bigger and maybe doing some demonstrations. But
yeah, and just like I say, we're going to take it one step at a time, see how this goes, and hopefully
the fall one might be small, but
build on it and try if we need bigger venues next year, because we've got more people interested. And again, just see how it goes. I mean, the thing lasts for kind of 5 hours, so I mean, whether people will stay for the whole 5 hours, I don't know. Whether people will just come and go, because I have set up a website, and there will be a presenter list put on the website. So if it's a schedule, so if it's something you're interested in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 o'clock, your person or something you're interested in is someone speaking, then you can show up half an hour before and leave when they've said what they wanted to say. If you want to listen to what everybody's got to say all day long, then that's up to you too. So there will be free tea and coffee and stuff there for people to drink and everything. So and there will be there's food vendors and stuff there. So hopefully, I say it goes well. It's a lot of organising at the minute, and we've got a month to go because it's on the 20th of April. So we're just running around trying to sort it all out. I say we're not trying to make it a huge extravaganza straight off the bat, but it's something we would like to build on again, because people are interested in self-sufficiency. They are interested in growing their own things, keeping their own bees, having chickens or maybe just different aspects of gardening or whatever. So yes, it's something we've been there's a million markets out there, but we just wanted something a little different. So we'll see how it goes.
Say that last year we did lots and lots of markets, and as I said earlier, we kind of more streamlining this year and targeting more specific ones. We've got our tried and tested ones that we're going to be going back to. There's a few more, but we did apply for one big market, and it's really interesting when you get turned down for like markets. And one of them that I applied for, me and another vendor friend found out on Friday that we didn't get in for it. So we knew it was a vetted and juried application, and the email came through, and I'm looking at it going, oh, it said, your Instagram isn't pretty enough with photos, and your booze like didn't look how we wanted it to, and if you've got a unique selling point, let us know. And I'm like, how much of a unique selling point do we need? Because like our business is very unique and niche with regard to how we farm, how we hand plant, hand extract, hand harvest, and what we do. And so and again,
how your products are all centered around the beehive. So
yeah,
the propolis and wax and honey and everything else.
And nobody does what we do. I can pretty much like guarantee the way that we run things and how we do it. But it's interesting. So I sent an email back saying,
you couldn't help yourself, could you?
No. But I said that, maybe you didn't see the unique selling point on my application, because I always send like a bio, because I learned the hard way that a lot of times when you apply as Clover Honeypot and you mention skincare, people go, oh, we've got people who sell honey, we've got people who sell soap. And it's like, well, that's not the be all and end all of what we do. So, and it really helped when I put together like a little bio and kind of mini press release, a document that did explain it. So we can just obviously assume that maybe they didn't even read it, because like you can kind of see when organizers haven't read it. So
you said that the friend of ours, I mean, she's got a completely different business. Her setup is very minimal, and she just sells what the few things she wants to sell. It's very nice stuff, and I mean, she puts a lot of effort into it. But again, the email she got was pretty much read exactly the same as ours, so it's just like a generic bugger off kind of thing. But hey ho, it is what it is.
This market that we went to yesterday, I was saying we saw a guy there that we were a vendor next to at the racecourse, didn't we? And I said to him about that I sent an email back questioning the turn down of this particular market, and he said I've done exactly the same thing, and he says it's paid off like when he's done it sometimes, but so whether or not like never hear from them ever again, but it's not a deal breaker not getting into it, and got into like say some other
the other thing to it clashed with a friend's wedding.
Yeah.
So and then I said to the friend on Saturday when we got the email Friday, I said, we can come to your wedding now. So she's happy.
But yeah, so once again, like going back to that overlaps of like different vendors and people thinking that you do just minimal things or you just do one thing, but we're actually going to be copywriting and trademarking quite a few of our things now, because it's amazing in the, I guess, skincare field how many other like people copy what I do, like narrative, like it's amusing. Like what did my dad used to say to me? Imitation is the highest form of flattery, but the lowest form of intelligence. And like, it's really flattering that people will like be so impressed with like my stuff that they copy things, but
obviously they've not heard of ChatGPT yet.
And I was avoiding ChatGPT until you told me what it was. I thought it was some other controlling AI thing that was going to track everything I do.
It has its uses.
It does have its uses, and narrative-wise, it can be pretty helpful. But no, so we're going to be copywriting some stuff. We've done a tiny little bit of rebranding. Not rebranding. I have this like white packaging, biodegradable packaging, and I've decided to package the shampoo bars, the shaving bars in these little packages with a little clear window on the front of them. And I took the new stuff down to one of my retail partners, and the purchasing manager came back to me the next day and said, wow, looks fantastic. It's really going to add like prominence on the shelves. It's
so
really going
to brains.
It's going to stand out more, but it does look way better, and it's yeah, I'm just like super happy, and like we've had like lots of really good feedback from it. So yeah, so we've like I say got quite a few different markets coming up. We've got one on Canada Day, haven't we? Which we did different. It's a Monday. Yeah, so the Canada Day was on a Saturday last year. So we were at a market just about an hour north of us. So we were like, oh my goodness, like I hope that they're not going to be doing their Canada Day on Canada Day, but they're actually doing it on the Saturday, aren't they? As normal.
Doing Saturday and Sunday, aren't they?
Saturday. Well, there's their Saturday market, and then there's an additional market Sunday because there's some like little car show fair or something.
Yeah, there'll be
which I don't know whether we might
go for it.
Go back for it. So yeah,
you need to find somebody who lives out there and go and stay with them.
Fern and Nom.
Oh yeah, they'd be really pleased to see
you. Yeah, we don't have a caravan to take that we could park in their field. But no, so yeah, check out the upcoming events on the website. So cloverhoneypot.com, there's an events tab, isn't there?
Yeah.
You're going to put in the show notes the homesteading show link. So that's mbhomesteadingshow.com.
Put that in there if you're interested. If you're not interested, tell a friend. They might be.
Well, yeah. Say just please share out.
And we've got Facebook page, Instagram page for it too. So I think we've got like 4 followers on Instagram. So we're killing it right now.
And now I'm sure there's more.
No, I think there's 4. I checked this morning.
Oh, okay. Like, well, I don't know. Like that was this morning.
I know. It might be 5 now.
Yeah, there might be 5. I think I started following it.
Oh, there you go. Well, good job, number 5. So that's 5 Instagram followers and 5 podcast listeners.
No, that's more than 5 podcasts.
I wonder if that's different 5 people on each one. It might be the same stalkers.
Yeah, it might be. So just sharing a little bit about the bee updates, because like so many people have been asking us, and people have been saying like, well, where are they? What did you do with them over winter? Are they in a shed? And a lady phoned me to inquire about my products on Thursday, and she was on the phone for an hour with me and was super interested. She's asking really good questions, and she's just taking in all the information that we've learned about bees. But what is it you say? The more I learn, the less I know. Yeah. So, and every year is different.
Yeah, and keeping bees indoors is just something. Another. It helps, but it's just a different headache.
Yeah, I mean, we know somebody down southwest Manitoba in a place called Miami, and it's not Miami, Florida, it's Miami, Manitoba, and he's got a big operation, and he keeps his hives in. How many's he got? 1,500. So he keeps them all in this obviously workshop shed. But like he said on Facebook posts that you open the door and you've got to keep it dark. Then it gets light, and then like you've got to shut the door, and then the temperature, and it's
the temperature, especially with the winter we've had this year. I mean, he wants -20s because it keeps if you think of 1,500 boxes all producing heat, he's got wind airflow through there, and he wants the airflow to go through and out the other side, because that place needs to be kept around 4 degrees Celsius, and if he's got 8, 9, then there's more activity in there, and they'll start bearding on the front of the boxes, and they get all riled up, and it's just. And he's looked at installing refrigeration in the unit, and the cost is just outweighs what it would.
Yeah.
So again, it's like you say, the plus 10 days and stuff we've had. I mean, he's on the fence at the minute whether to put them all onto the back of the truck and take them all and put them into the. But again, that's who knows. It might go super cold. And I mean, a bee box, the wooden bee box in of itself, if there's enough bees in there, it'll stand probably 15 below overnight. And as long as it's warms up in the day to a degree, so the sun can heat the box up a bit, and they've got some food, they'll tend to do okay. But if it drops below 15 and it's cloudy and it doesn't get warm in the day, then again it's just attrition for the bees. So it's always a delicate, when do I pull them out and or do I leave them in? And again, you can pull them out and it's plus 10, and 2 weeks later you get a week of freezing cold and lose half of them. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't half the time. So the long range weather forecast being what it is, it's but again, same with ours with unwrapping them. I'll leave them in styrofoam for quite a long time because it's just, they don't get that hot cold cycle. Whether it's minus 20 outside or plus 20 outside, inside a styrofoam box, the temperature's still pretty much the same because the insulation keeps heat out, but it keeps cold out as well. So for modulating the heat in the hive and for letting, because again, if the hive gets too cold inside and the queen's laid a load of eggs, the bees will eat up the brood again and they won't rear the brood. They'll basically the hive will go backwards. They'll use it as a protein source until there's enough food, protein, and they can keep them warm and feed them. So anything that happens that goes against that, so as long as we can keep enough food in there, we can keep the temperature fairly constant in there, then again, they should thrive. But it's that up and down of temperature, which can obviously, that's the variable that we don't have control over if they're just outside on their own. So it's no insulation or anything. So the variables you've got are whether you're feeding them or not, and that's about it. The rest of it is down to Mother Nature and El Nino, whoever he is.
Well, hopefully we can boost the box numbers back up again. Replace the two, and my goal is to go to 24 this year. So, but obviously when people
don't look at me sheepishly when you say that.
When people talk to us about beekeeping, because one of the things we've considered in our local community is also providing a workshop, maybe at our house, because we've got all the projector screen and everything set up here, to update people and give them information on how to start their own hives. But if we want to go to 24 hives, that's 6 more brood boxes, at least 6, 12, 18 maybe.
It's a lot of woodware.
Yeah, it's a lot of equipment, so it's not going to be cheap. So we say to people who go, I want to keep bees, and it's like, well, this is your bare bones of what you've got to buy. We've got a great resource, Dancing Bee down at Dufresne. Mike owes the owner of the business down there. I mean, he's a great source of knowledge. The equipment's great, and
reasonable price.
Send people to him, and he'll look after them.
Well,
so
again, if you're going to go for 6 more hives, then you want 6 bottom boards. 6 lids. 6 boxes, 6 inner lids, 6 outer lids. You want 6 just for the brood boxes. You want another 60 frames. If you're going to put 2 more boxes on for honey supers, that's another 120 frames, another 12 boxes, and all that. Again, you've just dropped through another couple of thousand bucks worth of stuff just to add 6 more hives to the flock. So I mean, we've It's been
adding.
It's been 7 years now, and again we're up to 18. So we just add a little bit and go a little bit. But the interesting thing I'm looking at this year is we had more hives this year, and probably a slightly less productive year due to the cycles of how it was hot and cold through summer. But again, we're going to see. But we produced exactly the same amount of honey as what we did
in 22.
22 as what we did in 23. So I said to Karen, it's going to be interesting in 24 that if we add extra boxes and bees and all the rest of it, and we produce the same amount of honey, then maybe we're at the ceiling for how many flowers and things there are in the area that the bees can service.
You see, you need to extend my botanical garden.
It's not going to make a difference. a pound of honey is about 2 million flower visits for the bees. So for every pound of honey you get, some bees have visited up to 2 million flowers to get that nectar.
So I need to plant more then.
Again, you're not going to
for anybody that like.
So you're going to plant 2 million flowers and get extra for the extra pound.
For anybody that doesn't know this, I keep getting you to expand the botanical garden every year.
No, it stopped last year.
Well,
no wells. I said to you.
Well, if I dig it, then.
Okay, yeah. I said to you last year, is this it? That I'm not doing any more?
I didn't say a definitive yes.
I said last year, this is it, I'm not doing any more. Because it's been going on for 3 years now. This is year 4 of this damn garden. And every year I end up having to dig a ton more out and then get another 2 yards of soil to fill it.
Well, the soil's not mega expensive. It's just the back-breaking work of digging it out.
You hardly found time to tend this one. It still looks like a bomb site now.
Well, as soon as the snow does go, then everything's being cut back, and
so it's again you neglected it. So
I didn't neglect it. We
you
just
can't have
ran
something.
Out of time.
I didn't run out of anything. I did a 35 by 100 foot garden, and it's all cleaned up and done. Nobody ran out of time. Somebody's got better time management, my dear.
No, I don't have just that to do.
Oh yeah, that's all I got to do too. Yeah.
I have to make products.
Can you hear all the excuses coming out of the wood? Yeah, I had.
It's not an excuse.
I had to single-handedly spin all the honey out virtually because somebody got stung and didn't want to play.
No, that was actually at the end of the season. That was after the honey spinning season.
Well, you were making product. I ended up doing most of the honey, which isn't going to happen this year.
And business did, because we did all those markets last year. Then. It was, in a good way, it was busier, which meant that I was making and turning out more product, which obviously takes time. So it's just, like I said, just try and manage things and schedule like our time.
Our
time.
Oh,
yes. So hopefully, I'm not sure what the next podcast will be about. Probably in a couple of weeks' time, we'll have some more news to report about the weather and the bees.
There's probably people slashing the wrists now already listening to us argue.
We're not arguing. Okay. I'm just explaining why you're wrong.
Well, yes. I would agree with it, but then we'd both be wrong.
So hopefully we've shared a little bit about the bees updates, like what markets we're doing, why we're doing, not legal, well, it is legal stuff, I guess, copywriting and trademarking, but when it's your full-time business and
got to protect your assets.
Got to protect your business, because this is what we do full-time. So just a few little updates on the business side, the bee side, and the markets that we've done and got coming
exciting
up.
Homesteading show. So we'll probably be, if we don't
might do a live video from that.
Oh, we can do lots of live videos from there, don't worry. I'm going to dine out on that bad boy for a long time.
And then if you haven't checked out our Instagram and Facebook pages recently, you've found some new apps to do fancy videos and captions and special effects. So one of my soaping friends, she said, oh my goodness, she sent me a text saying, like, your Instagram feed is really good and like all those videos. I'm like, what videos? I haven't put anything on, and this one's been like getting carried away in a good way.
I don't sit on the couch watching movies all night long. I've got things to do.
I don't. Okay. You do that during the daytime.
All you want is an argument. Anyway, folks, we'll talk to you again.
Yeah, hopefully not as long, because we should be starting more frequent bee inspections and updates. So
spring's coming.
It is. Yay.
Bye.